Welcome back. Familicide, the mass murder of someone's own family members, is an all too increasing crime in today's society. It is a crime that shocks and horrifies the public, with many asking, why not just divorce? But the answer is not that simple, and is as diverse as the reasons that lead to such unthinkable acts. Researchers have concluded that freedom from having an existing family, money, power, and revenge are just some of the catalysts involved. But like many murders, the reason is often never fully understood, even by the family annihilator themselves. It is interesting to note that mental illness, which is often used as a defence, is only found to be the case in a very small percentage of this type of murderer. This is the story of one recent case in Western Australia, which ended in a landmark sentencing for that state, with 25-year-old Anthony Harvey given no possible chance of parole. Mara Quinn, then 38, and Anthony Harvey, then 22, met in 2013 while both were working at the Sino steel mine in Cape Preston in the northwest of Western Australia. Despite a 16-year age gap, the couple soon became romantically involved, and when Mara fell pregnant with their first child the following year, Anthony proposed. The couple moved and settled into their new home in the Perth suburb of Bedford, before a daughter, Charlotte, was born in 2015. Mara had been financially comfortable when they met and sold off properties that she owned to fund Anthony in a Jim's mowing franchise while she cared for the new baby at home. 18 months later, twins, Alice and Beatrix, were born. Mara's mother, Beverly Quinn, visited the home every day to help Mara with the children. By all accounts, the family appeared to be happy. Mara's sister, Taryn, says Mara dreamed of having a family and was thriving in her role as mother to the 3 little girls. It would later be revealed, however, that Anthony's landscape franchise was struggling and that Anthony was somewhat lazy and often failed to turn up for work. Mara had taken a night shift job at Coles in Inglewood to help make ends meet. On September 8th last year, 2018, Anthony Harvey called his father and said he wanted to come and see him. He then began the long-distance drive to his parents' home in Pannawonica. By 10 a.m. the following day, Harvey pulled into a rest stop at Nunattara, about an hour out of Pannawonica, and called his father again, telling him he had done something really wrong. When his father arrived at the rest stop, Harvey said, "I hurt them, hurt all of them." And after hearing the rest of his story, Harvey's father convinced him to turn himself in. He then called 000 to let police know of the address in Bedford. Harvey told his story to Karratha police, and when they searched the car he was driving, they found $40,000 in the pocket of a jacket, money he'd raised by selling jewellery and other items along the trip north. But more chilling was a journal he kept detailing the plan to murder his wife and children, and tucked inside the pages, photographs of their dead bodies. The journal revealed Harvey had planned the murders well in advance. He'd purchased knives twice over the previous weeks and written a number of options he'd contemplated, including suicide and leaving unnoticed. He labelled both as the least heat. Under an option he'd listed as make entire family disappear, he wrote the result would be no money. He planned to call Mrs. Harvey's work and fake an injury after she failed to contact them, which he later did, telling the store manager that Mara had misjudged kicking a soccer ball and required surgery on 2 bones in her foot. He added to his to-do list, call the girls' school and give away all jobs. Eliminating his family and embezzling their savings, he concluded, would require preparations. He wondered whether to put the body in a trailer, a veggie patch, or in bed. Harvey also made observations on how he could get away with the murders, writing that his biggest problem was money. He wrote, "Not concerned with trace, just need the coin. So Cash City, multiple transfer, big risks. Sell car, hot valuables, withdraw money. Buy incognito car, buy a dog and leave." Another entry read, "I must disconnect myself from this anxious and depressed society, this boring, muted cycle of endless survival. I must embrace my darkness and animal instincts." The last entry on September 3rd read, "Tonight I will kill my wife, bludgeon and smother her to death. Then the real hunting begins. But first, my loved ones." At the same time as Harvey was confessing to Karratha police, officers from Bayswater Police Station were dispatched to attend the family home in Coode Street, Bedford. When they entered, the television was still on, but the rest of the house was eerily quiet. In the bedroom, they discovered the bodies of 2-year-old twins, Alice and Beatrix, their 3.5-year-old sister, Charlotte, and their 41-year-old mother, Mara Harvey. The bodies appeared to have been placed together as though cuddling each other and were surrounded by toys. They were covered with a doona. Flowers and a note had been placed on top of the doona, which read, "To my beautiful wife, I'm so sorry. I would give anything to undo what I've done. I think I've lost my mind. Take care of those little girls like you always do. I love you so much." All 4 appeared to have been brutally stabbed. The body of Mara's mother, Beverly Quinn, was found in the kitchen, also covered and with flowers and a note which read, "Beverly, I'm so very sorry. You all deserved so much better. I truly hope you are somewhere better, and I know I never said it, but I love you. I'm so sorry." Mrs. Quinn also appeared to have suffered extensive stab wounds. Even seasoned officers were horrified by the injuries the family had sustained. Harvey was arrested and charged with the murder of 5 members of his own family. In the wake of the news, friends revealed that Harvey didn't handle the responsibility of being the breadwinner well, and hated that the baby took up so much time. He didn't really want to be a dad. Things got worse with the birth of the twins. They said Mara saved a lot and was very frugal, but the babies were expensive and the business didn't do well because he never wanted to work, adding that Harvey was drinking heavily and spending $300 a week on his marijuana and meth habit. The investigation into their murders commenced, and West Australian Police Commissioner Chris Dawson told media it was likely Mrs. Harvey and her 3 daughters had been killed on September 3rd, while Beverly Quinn was murdered when she arrived at the house as usual the following day. Mara's sister, Taryn, said Mara loved being a mum and loved her girls. They were her world. She described her oldest niece, Charlotte, as an energetic, bubbly and confident little girl who loved people and loved socialising. She spoke of the different personalities of her 2-year-old twin nieces, Alice being outgoing, adventurous and cheeky, and Beatrix a little bit more quiet, but who gave the biggest hugs. She also paid tribute to her kind-hearted mother, Beverly, who was always there for her family, adding she just loved her daughters and grandchildren and would have done anything for them. This world is a sadder place with the loss of these 5 beautiful people.
You never recover from something like this.
This will be forever.
No, we did.
Time will heal a certain pain, but this will just go on forever. It's just a very raw time. It's just unfathomable. We can't come to terms with what's happened. We don't know why it's happened. There was no indication of trouble, problems. And as we've said, we just want to thank the community and everyone for everything they've done. There's the love, the support. My work colleagues, they know who they are. My immediate family have been fantastic. And it's just something we're very comforted by to help us get through this.
In April this year, Harvey entered a plea of guilty to all counts and was remanded in custody until his sentence on July 19th. That day, the court heard the full horrific details of the murders. Prosecutor Amanda Forrester told the court that Harvey had attended a Commonwealth Bank branch hours before the deaths of his family and had convinced Mara to sign him on as a third-party agreement so he could use her account, knowing he planned to kill her later that evening. On the night of the murders, the court heard Harvey drank half a bottle of wine before his wife of 3 years returned from working her night shift job at Coles at around 11 p.m. Harvey had taken a metal pipe from a shed and placed it on an outdoor setting. When he heard Mara arrive, he came up behind her and bludgeoned her over the head with the pipe. He then took a large hunting knife, understood to be the size of a machete, and stabbed her until, as he said, she stopped. He said, "I tried to finish her as quickly as possible." Mara's post-mortem examination revealed significant head injuries, including a large laceration to the top of her head and fractures to the base of the skull. She also had 12 stab wounds, 5 to her chest and 7 to her back. After Mara's death, he went into the bedroom shared by 2-year-old twins Alice and Beatrix and stabbed Beatrix with a much smaller knife. He then turned on Alice and stabbed her a number of times. The post-mortem showed Beatrix had a total of 9 sharp force injuries. These were to her chest and right eye. There were 2 incised wounds to her right eye and a stab wound to her cheek. There was also a wound to the right eye that penetrated the skull and the right carotid artery. She had 4 wounds to her chest, 3 of which penetrated vital organs, including the heart. Alice's post-mortem showed a total of 13 sharp force injuries. These were to her chest, left wrist and left eye. The 6 wounds to the chest all penetrated the chest cavity and caused injuries to vital organs, including the heart. He then went into Charlotte's bedroom and stabbed her 38 times. Of these injuries, 22 were clustered in an area on the front of the chest. A number of the wounds penetrated the neck and the chest cavity, causing injuries to vital organs, including the heart. Harvey then placed all of their bodies together, with Mara's arm across the children as though they were cuddling, and photographed them. The next day, Beverly Quinn, the children's grandmother, attended the house between 7 and 7:30 a.m. When she arrived, Harvey helped her to bring a basket of laundry inside from her car. Then he bludgeoned her with the same pipe he'd used on Mara. He then stabbed her. Again, he took photographs. Beverly's post-mortem showed there was a large laceration to the right side of her head, with underlying hemorrhage and bone fragments. She also had multiple sharp force injuries, the majority of which were stab wounds to the chest. One complex wound on examination was found to comprise 11 separate stab wounds. There were 3 other stab wounds to the chest. After the deaths, Harvey took a shower and fell asleep. He told police he awoke the next day and went out to purchase flowers from a local convenience store and returned home. He then covered the bodies and placed the flowers on top with a note. He stayed in the house with the bodies until September 8th, before deciding to make the 18-hour drive to his father in Pannawonica, and was convinced to turn himself in. At his sentencing hearing on July 19th this year, Justice Hall said, "Your actions were so far beyond the bounds they would instill horror and revulsion in the most hardened of people." He added, "This is the place they should have been the safest. They should have been able to trust their father to protect them. That's the most fundamental duty any parent has." Harvey was sentenced to life imprisonment, and for the first time in West Australian history, an order was added that he was never to be released. He is 25 years old. 3 generations of one family, brutally murdered by the very man who should have protected them, leaving everyone with the often unanswered question, why? Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more murder, mystery and mayhem. Until next time.